Good morning, and how are you today? I'm fabulous, even though I haven't had any coffee yet. So your cup of joe is me. Such an idiot. Man, I hope you had a great day yesterday. I hope you're getting ready to have another great one today. I'm doing okay. You can hear it again. I don't understand. But anyway, what shall we talk about today? The power of language and the things that people do to control language. It's just another part of this whole deal, where there is a concerted effort, as I keep saying, to literally compartmentalize and control a group of people. And one of the things that they do for control is language. They want to control the words you use. But man, it's not just words. It's more than words. It's when you control someone's language, you control them. When you put them on edge every single time they stand in front of a group of people or one person, or they get online, and literally have to think about every little word that they use. Even, let me put it this way. Obviously, there's language that people find offensive and stuff like that. We'll get into that. But it's a control mechanism. It's a way to exert power over you. When somebody says, I don't like that word, you shouldn't use that word. And then they expect you to sort of say, okay, I'm sorry. Believe me. Now, there are people that are going to do that who really don't like certain things, and they'll feel uncomfortable about it. But then there's the people who don't have the power that they wish they had over you, and they'll go ahead and say things like this. And man, I'm not comfortable with that. I've never been comfortable with it. I've said this 1,000 times. You have to be able to express yourself in the manner that you feel you should express yourself. And then when you put those words out there in society, look, there are mechanisms in place at a societal level where if you use language that many feel is wrong, you're going to suffer the ramifications of that. You will suffer the consequences of using racial slurs specifically. But man, let's put it this way. Let's start with this. Words are used to hurt people. And, it's the whole sticks and stones deal. And when people use that language to hurt you, it works sometimes. People don't like certain things, and it's working right now in society. One of the things that's really working is the word racist. This has become the catchphrase of the far left. If you don't agree with you, you're racist. Racist, racist, racist. You hear politicians on TV all day long. Racist, racist, racist. Everything's racist. Obviously, that's a bag of shit. Everybody knows it's not true. But they also know that by doing that, they're doing a couple things. They're prodding. They're trying to egg people on. And they also feel a sense of satisfaction, that control, that power that they have to call people that and get away with it, because they're going to be defended by that segment of the media who either really believes that everybody that doesn't agree with them is racist, or they're exerting that power so they can do what I just told you. Prod, needle, kick the bear, whatever. Man, people like that I feel sorry for them. Imagine being so helpless and so hapless and so pathetic that you have to engage in that kind of behavior to feel any sort of strength in your life. And I don't particularly care for it, obviously. But, at what point do you speak up? At what point do you fight back? Well, for me, I'm saying what I want. I don't care who gets mad, because we have to start having uncomfortable conversations. We have to start having uncomfortable conversations. The only way to break this cycle of the media constantly berating and badgering is by, just like I've said before, you give them 2 middle fingers right in their face and say, I don't give a, you know what? How you think of me, what you think of me, you mean nothing to me. That's how you start. You've got to stand up to this. It sucks. Of course it sucks. But this is the wall that needs to be broken before we start getting back to any normalcy again. Because if you remember back in the 70s, if you lived back then, things now that you couldn't approach from 5 miles, we used to laugh at on television. And it's so bizarre that all of a sudden you've got these very sensitive, weak people that can't accept it. You know, when you watched a show like The Jeffersons, or you watched a show like All in the Family, you didn't enjoy the racism because you were racist. You laughed at the stereotypes because they were idiotic. And you would hear somebody like Archie Bunker, say something so ridiculous, and you'd be like, "Man, that's really ridiculous. I really don't think like that. It's stupid." Now, maybe it was reflecting things that they heard, and that's fine. That's a good thing. That way, it ends those types of thoughts and beliefs. But man, you can't let yourself be controlled. And the other thing too is with this effort to sort of emasculate people. And if you're a powerful person, if you're a strong person, other people using language who don't have your power, who don't have your strength. When I use the word power, I'm saying power over yourself, self-convictions. I don't mean power, exerting power over people. That's evil. That's awful. Shouldn't be doing that. I mean, if you have strength and you're confident in who you are, and other people jumping in your world and saying, "You can't say that. You shouldn't say that, blah, 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 blah." I don't know. Who are you? Why are you telling me this, TV person? Or a random stranger? I'll say whatever the hell I want. You don't like it? Then you move on with your life. Just get out of my lane. Once again, you have to stand up for yourself. Because here's another thing. Who you are in this world, people are going to notice your decency and your kindness. The people in your world, as long as they're the ones that see that and understand that, you're fine. You're fine. If you're a person that runs around throwing slurs around and stuff like that, of course you should, in my world, not in my world, that's for sure. I want nothing to do with you. Because you're showing how you feel about people that you've never met. And you're doing it in such a manner that it's repulsive, and it's cold, and it's pathetic. People like that I want nothing to do with. But if you have beliefs in things, and you have convictions about them, and let's use nuance. Of course, if you have belief, all right, please apply nuance to what I just said. Oh, what do you say? You say that Nazis should walk around being... No, that's not what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying if you work hard and you have beliefs in how you should conduct your life, and you believe in maybe more traditional values. Let's say one of the things I don't like is when people who have traditional values are insulted by people who don't, and vice versa. Leave them alone. If you don't believe the way somebody else believes and how they should conduct their life, leave them be. There's no... Jesus, what is wrong with people? Man, I don't know. But it's the truth. We have to start having these uncomfortable conversations, because this is what caused the vacuum. I would say the control vacuum that we... How do I say this? This is what created this vacuum that allowed an extremely fringe ideology, Marxism, to sort of creep its way back into our lives again. Because we were not talking to each other. Because every time you mentioned a word that crossed the line, and I don't mean the slurs, I mean thoughts that you're watching something happen in society. Like, for example, let me give you something that will piss people off on the left. Maybe on the right too. I'm not sure. It depends on, I shouldn't even say it that way. Music has gone through, there's all kinds of different popular musics. We know that. And like the rock music that I went through, it's gone through a lot of phases. In the 80s, the hair metal thing, which made me vomit. I was not a hair metal guy. I thought it was ridiculous. I listened to the angrier music for the angst. I mean, there was pop rock that I listened to, plenty of it. I loved this. There was pop rock that I loved. Still love to this day. But then, like the heavier stuff, like when I was a kid, like Deep Purple, and then moving on with like metal bands and starting to listen to other things, there was an anger to it. But everything wasn't about getting laid and doing drugs. And all of a sudden, I'm listening to a style of music where everything's about getting laid and doing drugs. People with makeup on their faces and long hair. That's not what I was interested in. I had no interest in that nonsense whatsoever. You may have. Good for you. Good for you, man. We all have different feelings. So if you chase down the hairband thing and you like that stuff and little boys dressing up with long hair and wearing makeup, that was your thing. It wasn't mine, and it never will be. But then it was filled by a vacuum after that. A very dark music out of Seattle. A lot of social commentary, which was fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That was good, actually. But when you stay too deep in that world, when you constantly look at the negative, when you're constantly challenging things that you see, and you can't find any joy in anything, and if none of your music is joyful and uplifting, you see what's happened to some of those cats and what that's turned into. It's a shame. And you see it in hip-hop now. People have told me. There's a lot of music in hip-hop right now is very focused on image and style. It also focused on monetary power. That's no place to be. That's a terrible way to look at the world. Look how strong I am. Look how much money I got. That's an awful place to be, in my opinion. You have to stand up for yourself, and that's the power of language as well. Words. What you put out there, and how people consume it. So, anyway, there you go. More than words, man. How we conduct our conversations and who's trying to control those conversations matter. Don't speak your mind. Say what you want to say. Get it out there. Eventually, you'll find people that agree with you, and I think you're going to find a lot more people will be really relieved. It will be a breath of fresh air, of this haze that hovers around us. It feels like, I've said this before, it almost feels like there's those gargoyles on those buildings, those big concrete buildings in New York, looking down at you. Just they can't wait to pounce. Well, let them pounce. Just punch back. Tell them to kiss your ass. You say what you want. Speak how you want, and have the conversations with people that are really uncomfortable, because it's time to start having them, or we'll keep getting what we're getting now. And what we have right now is not cool. So there you go. Man, I hope you have a wonderful day today. I hope you've reached out to somebody, and especially in these times, it's going to get pretty rough for a while. So try and be kindness, be firm, but be kindness. I love you. You have a good day.